60 Minutes with Angela starts right now.
Ever had any doubt that all is not well with Nigeria's ruling party, the All Progressives Congress, APC, look no further than reports coming out of a meeting held in Oyo State, the southwest geopolitical zone of Nigeria. It was a meeting of a southwest zone of the APC. And listen to this. Anybody in our party is free to become the president of Nigeria. Those were the words of the former interim national chairman of the party, Bisi Akonde. Well, hello and welcome to the program. I'm Angela Ajetumobi. And so the special advisor to Nigeria's President Muhammadu Buhari on political matters, Senator Babafemi Ojodu, joins me on the program today. Thank you, Senator, for coming back on the program with me. Thank
you for having me. Thank you.
You know, I was just reading that quote from my introduction, talking about the outcome of the meeting of the southwest zone of the party. I believe you were at that meeting.
I wasn't.
You were not there.
It was a meeting of governors and ministers.
Okay. And the statement coming from the former interim chairman of the party, anybody in our party is free to become president of Nigeria. It's the southwest zone of the party backing down from its support of President Buhari?
No, not at all. I think people misunderstood what Chief Bisi Akonde was trying to say. What I think he was saying is that, look, we still have 2 years to election.
Yes.
The president has not come out to say that he's running. So what's all this feels about? Anybody who feels he wants to run, let him go and run. It's not a question of saying, no, we don't want him or we are not supporting him. That's not what he's saying.
But the APC is aware that that statement has created a lot of furore in the politics.
Really? I have not seen that. I'm a politician, a political advisor for that matter. I've not seen that. Anybody who is a politician and who knows Bisi Akonde and his special relationship with the president, we know that that cannot be a disavowal of the president. No, it's not so.
So you're not of the school of thought that thinks that the Southwest has not been well served by this administration?
Well, it depends on what you mean by well served.
Some people say the Southwest is marginalized.
Again, you know, people bandy words around in Nigeria. Marginalization, restructuring. And when you then ask them for statistics and to support this, their claim, they are not able to do so.
Let me tell you something that Afenifere leader Ayo Adebanjo said. The greatest mistake made was for Yorubas to vote for Buhari. The Southwest is regretting voting for Buhari. Tinubu is regretting now. He and his supporters are now regretting helping Buhari to become.
Personally, I won't hold any store by what Adebanjo said. Adebanjo was a big supporter of Jonathan in the Southwest, you know, at that time. And, you know, the old man is still suffering from the beating they got in the election that President Buhari contested against Jonathan.
Yes.
So all of us should be saying now, we are regretting, you know, what Adebanjo and co threw us into under Jonathan. You know, I mean the theft, the fraudulent activities, you know, that ran us to a big economic problem.
Yes.
You know, were caused by Jonathan.
Yes.
who had supporters in people like Adebanjo.
Yes.
So it's if Adebanjo is saying that, he's saying that because he is still smarting from the defeat he and Jonathan suffered in the last election. So Adebanjo's statement cannot be taken to me much. Seriously. Yeah.
But you agree with me that
yes.
best international practice
yes.
determines that the president, being an incumbent,
yes.
who is also entitled to a second term,
yes.
must be given right of first refusal.
Look, let me say this. I think this thing about second term,
yes.
we should just leave it alone for now. There is so much.
Is it too early?
It's too early. It's too early. There is so much the president is doing. Honestly, I work in the villa, in the presidency. Nobody at no meeting has ever raised the issue of second term. It has not been raised at any meeting. What we raise on a daily basis are how to improve on the economy, how to provide cheap, and affordable food and housing, how to improve on infrastructure. Those are the kind of things that are of concern to us and to the president, and how to continue to fight corruption.
Yes.
So the president has never called anybody to talk about it.
Is there no pressure on the APC, for instance, now that the PDP has gotten his act together?
Yes.
The PDP has zoned the presidency to the north. Don't you in the APC feel a nudge towards doing something to that effect?
About zoning?
Yes.
That's what I'm saying. We have a president in place that still has about 2 years to go.
Yes.
And he has a lot of challenges that he has to cope with. He has a lot of programs, goals, and objectives that he has to meet up with. He is busy doing all of those. So the issue of, that will be addressed. Maybe by this time next year, we'll begin to address the issue of what happened in 2019.
Yes.
Not now. It's a distraction, seriously.
So, if the president, for instance, says he's not going for a second term, will the presidency be retained in the north? Will it still be zoned to
As
the
I
north?
said, we've not discussed that. And we wait until that issue comes up. For me now, I can't be speculating on that kind of thing when it is not yet an issue.
All right. The first question I actually wanted to ask is, why does the president need a special advisor on political matters?
Why does he?
Yes.
That's a very major and important position. You need to sit back and advise the president on the happenings across the country. What the party men are feeling, what politicians generally are doing, provide intelligence. This person is doing this, that person is doing that. This is what is coming up. This is why people are taking this way. Monitor information and intelligence around politics and all of that. Organize women, organize youths, organize the party generally. Make sure that those who are critical in the party do have access to him and the vice president. It's a major work.
How soon then will we see a lot of the positions that are still available? At the last time I checked, about 6,000 positions still need to be filled in ministries, departments, and agencies.
Well, that is being done gradually. As you can see, hardly do you have a week when an appointment, is not announced.
Yes.
So the president is taking his time. And why he's doing this is that, you need to check out those who are giving those appointments to. You need to be able to see that, they are not all people that Nigerians say, why are you giving appointment to this kind of person?
The wrong person?
And he needs to do the balancing, ethnic balancing, sometimes religious balancing, zonal balancing, gender balancing, and all of that. So it takes a lot of time.
Yes. So is it a problem? I look at the APC sometimes and I think of it, the problems of that diversity brings generally in our country.
Right.
I see it also being reflected within the party. The APC still seems to be a collection of four souls. There is no real nation in the APC. It's a collection of groups. We have the BAT caucus, we have Justice Minded, we have
let me say this. As a political scientist, I'm informed enough to know that there is no party anywhere in the world where you don't have caucuses. There's no party anywhere in the world. There is no organization, where you don't have caucuses, particularly where you have many parties coming together to form a bigger party. And then, that's just about 2 years old. It takes time for them to meld together and become one. ANPP is there, CPC is there, ACN is there, and other smaller parties are there.
PDP.
They have their different ideologies. They agree to come together to go into an election and form a government. It will take so many years before they can become one and whole. There are elements from PDP, what they call the new PDP. At that time, they are just there. And you know what the PDP stands for. And you know what ACN knows what CPC stands for. So it's going to take some time. I'm not worried and I'm not bothered that there are still those, even when they come together fully, there will still be caucuses. In a party, you could have 3 persons wanting to become presidential candidates or aspirants. And then every grouping around each of the aspirants becomes a caucus. So you can't
push for it.
You can't run away from that. It's not possible to run away from that.
Okay, so, but will you agree with me?
Yes.
That the goodwill the APC had coming into government, winning that election with President Buhari, has eroded a little bit. People are disappointed.
Let me give you an example.
Yes.
I was just reading a story about Macron in France.
Yes.
He came to power in a blaze of glory. in less than 6 months, his approval rating has dropped. When you are in opposition, it's a different ball game from when you are in government. When you are in opposition, everybody acclaims you for abusing and criticizing and all kind of. The moment you take power, the onus now falls on you to now again be, subject of attacks and criticism. It's normal. In politics, it is normal. It's not. That is not to say that look, there are expectations we have not met. But again, I cannot blame it on the government. There are a lot of things that have gone wrong. The economy went bad as soon as we got to power. For example, when Jonathan was leaving, oil was selling for 110 in a barrel, crude oil. Suddenly we took over power, it dropped to almost $30 a barrel.
People are saying it's because you guys in APC didn't have a real plan. The only plan,
what is the real plan?
Was to get rid of.
No, the plan. What happened is this, and I'm going to reveal it here today. As they were leaving power, they were determined to sabotage the government, and of course they began to bring boys together. Okay, we are from South. Jonathan is from South. Power has been taken away from him. So bring boys together, begin to sabotage the oil installations, begin to sabotage the gas installations and all of that. It wasn't ordinary. It was designed. We have the intelligence that it was designed just to frustrate the government, make it look bad, and make the economy lie prostrate. So that's exactly what they did, until we began to go in there, negotiating, talking to people, pacifying, and explaining to them that look, if you continue to do this, you are going to be the loser at the end of the day. The lifespan of the oil economy is very short. It's the end, it's staring us in the face. So why don't we let us use this time to use the oil to develop your place? Now roads are being built, things are going on in those places. Modular refinery has been promised. Just a few days ago, we were in Bonny Island to kick off the construction of the road between Bodo and Bonny Island. That's been there over the years. People could not get to Bonny Island except you fly or you go by water. So gradually they are realizing that it is those people who ask them to go and carry out those sabotage activities that are their enemy, and not a Buhari, who wish Nigeria Delta to be a developed place for the betterment of the entire people of Nigeria Delta. So
one of the pillars on which this administration was elected was the war on corruption.
Yes.
You think that war is being prosecuted?
Oh, sure,
fairly?
It is being prosecuted. But when you talked about fairly now, it becomes subjective. We have lived with corruption for decades. It has almost become the culture of our people. For somebody to come to say overnight he wants to eradicate corruption is not something that is possible. People are used to it. People have been living big. People have been stealing from the public till, and you want to take them off that just suddenly like that. They will fight back, and they are fighting back. They have their accomplices everywhere. In the electoral system, in the judicial system, in the policing system, in government, in civil service and public service. They are all over the place. They benefited over the years. I'm a public official. I'm building a mall. I've not completed it. That mall is being built with resources stolen from government. Suddenly you come in and you want to block that resources. I will fight back. And that's what they are doing. Now we know. That's what they are doing. So gradually we will change.
When you say we will change, is it the whole party? Because people think only President Buhari believes in that war.
It is not true.
Everyone else around him
doesn't. It is not true. You have people in EFCC, you have in ICPC, you have the vice president, you have the attorney general. There are quite a lot of people within this system. You know, you have the committee like that of Professor Sagi, who are working very hard day and night. You have a whole lot of people within the system, even some judges. You know, it's not all judges who are corrupt. Even some judges who are right by the kind of corruption that is
talking about.
Yeah, that we're talking about. And you know, behind the scene, people are working towards, but it takes time. It's not just about arresting and charging to court. You must change the people's orientation. You know, you must change their worldview. You must change their attitude. You must also change their taste. Why go for a 60, 70 million car, you know, just to take you around when you can do so with just a 10 million car? Yeah. All of those things have to change over time. Why build a 16, 20 bedroom house when you don't need more than 3 bedroom house, you know, to stay with you and your wife? All of your children have been taken out of the country. They are living abroad. Then you want to go and build a 20 bedrooms. Who will sleep in the rest of the 19 bedrooms when you and your wife are occupying 1 bedroom? Yeah. So all of those attitudes have to change. You know, why must you go and have a house in Dubai, have one in London, have one in Paris, and have one in Atlanta or Florida? How do you maintain all of that? And you're a public official. So we're working gradually to create institutions that will address all of these issues and then bring about a different society. And it's good for all of us to know that corruption does not pay. At the end of the day, it will get at you. Yes. When you have still all of those money, have all of those houses, and one day, young men who are unemployed because of all the money you have stolen, you know, storm those houses and kill you, and kill your wife, or kill your son on the streets. What then is the benefit of the money you have stolen? Yeah.
Join us again after the break.
Nice question.
Angela, that's a great question.
It's a good question.
It is difficult to respond to that question.
That is a serious question.
Angela, that is a very great question.
Great question, Angela.
You know, Angela, that's a very difficult question.
That's a great question, Angela.
Okay, that's a great question.
Angela, that's a tough one for me.
That's a good question. Good question.
60 Minutes with Angela. Again, answers to every question you always wanted to ask.
Welcome back. On my hot seat today, Special Advisor to Nigeria's President Buhari on political matters, Senator Babafemi Ojodu. Now, I'll tell you one reason why people think that the war has failed. Take, for instance, the Presidential Investigative Panel that was headed by the Vice President, Professor Shimbajo, and that was looking at the matter of the former SGF.
Yes.
I remember when the President returned, the first Federal Executive meeting was cancelled to allow the Vice President to make a presentation of that report. Even Professor Sagi, who heads the Presidential Advisory Committee against corruption, has said it's taking too long. What is happening with that report?
It will come.
What action is the President going to take?
The President will take an action. But as of today, you know, and I know, that the XGF is on suspension and somebody is acting in this position. The NIA
People
DG
say that
is on suspension.
is not enough. It's a soft landing.
It's not. It's not. It's not. The President will do something. Let us be patient. You know, he will go through the report, look at all of the legal issues around it, and then he will come out and let the world know what decision he has taken. I think sometimes, you know, Nigerians are too impatient. Well, not too impatient. Nigerians want quick action, you know. And the President told us from the beginning that he could be slow, but he's steady. You know, he will not want to commit any injustice against any person. He will look at all the sides of the coin and then take a decision that he can then, when he meets his God, he can say, look, I did the right thing. Yeah.
Right. Okay, let's go to the matter of the NNPC now. And the Minister of State for Petroleum versus the GMD, the Group Managing Director of the NNPC. Do you see a kind of confusion arising from the President also being the Minister for Petroleum Resources?
That's not the first time that will be. It is not the first time.
You don't think that is affecting
the
issue of the relationship?
I don't think that is it. I don't think. Even if it is somebody else who is Minister of Petroleum and Kashik who is Minister of State for Petroleum,
Yes.
and Baru is NNPC, GMD.
Yes.
You know, if there will be problem, there will be problem. I think it's all about relationship management. Again, Kashiko has come out to say, look, I never accuse anybody of stealing money. You know, just talking about processes and procedure.
Yes.
Yeah, but Nigerians, the moment they see figures, the moment they hire contract, they think, oh, somebody has been enriched.
Someone has stolen 26 billion.
Yes,
in
I
the
know,
opinion
I
of
know.
a lot of
But
Nigerians.
if you go through that letter written by Kashiko,
Yes.
some of the things they call contract actually not contract. You know, look at the example of the funding process the acting president signed.
Yes.
Already somebody had put
joint venture.
Yes, joint venture and all. Somebody had already put a figure to it. Oh, the Oshimadio signed 640 billion contract.
647.
Yeah, you think probably he's giving contracts to his friends,
Yes.
family and associates and all of that. It's not true. There is a lot of cynicism in the land.
Does the president know that people are cynical?
Well, he does. He does. I mean, let's take a statement that he made to the Igbo leaders.
Yes.
That his conscience will be clear here as president and when he leaves. That he has not stolen money and he's not interested in stealing money. He has been, he has been just and fair to everybody. He said so.
Yes.
He said so. It's not that he's not aware. Nigeria is a very complex country, and Nigerians have suffered for too long, and they've been abused for too long that they don't want to trust anybody any longer.
Yes.
You know.
Yes.
And so that has made them to become cynical. Even when you are saying something that benefits their life, they will still question it. And again, it's not something you take away from democracy. You know, in a democracy, every act and utterances of government and government officials must be questioned. I don't take that away from the people. But again, don't attribute what is not. I mean, look at, for example, the case of the World Bank and the North. Everybody should know, that's very clear, that the government has been talking about, the devastation in the Northeast. Yes. I once visited Bama, for example. I visited Bama many years ago on my way to, I think it was on my way to Gashua. I know Bama. I knew the Bama I visited about 3 years ago. That has been devastated completely. Yes. Right now, there is something called the Bama Initiative in the presidency, trying to bring that town back to what it used to be. And there are several towns like that affected in the Northeast.
So why do you think?
I was in Maiduguri and I was taken to an IDP camp. I've never seen such a large concentration of kids, who have been orphaned. I saw close to 3,000 kids orphaned. So you think those people do not need special attention? And then they grow up to be poor, uneducated, uncared for, and then they would of course, unleash their frustration on the society. The president was saying, look, there is a need for attention for the Northeast.
Not because he's ignoring other regions.
No, certainly not. What bank has projects going on all over Nigeria, for crying out loud? It's not so. It's just that, look, please pay attention to the Northeast. People are paying attention, even organizations that are not World Bank.
Yes.
Norwegians, NGOs from everywhere, they are operating in the Northeast.
Why do you think there is that perception then
Again,
that the president is only in favor of the North?
It is the division arising from the last election. The South felt they should still have been allowed to continue to rule.
Yes.
The supporters of Jonathan, who are largely from the East, believe that something has been taken away from them. All of those people are fighting back in readiness and preparation for the next election.
For 2019.
For 2019. Let's damage him sufficiently. Let's put a lot of lie on his head. Let's accuse him of so many things so that he will not be sellable in 2019. That's the basis of all of the things you are seeing. Even when you explain, even when you show facts, they will still twist it.
Okay. And the president, having explained and showed facts to those leaders of the Southeast who paid a visit to him, do you think that has been enough to allay their fears?
Yeah, it's not something you can achieve in a day. You have to continuously reassure them. You have to continuously...
Were they reassured on that day? Was their body language more positive?
Well, of course. Some of them expressed that positivity, even in their public utterances. That kind of... Look, let me tell you this. The Easterners, do you want to hear this? They own this country.
How?
If you look at the volume of trade in Nigeria today, if you look at liquidity by any group of people in Nigeria today, Igbos own this country. Where I come from, Ado Ekiti, there was a time last year, the Igbos had their day in Ado Ekiti, my town. All of the shops were shut down. You could not get to buy anything, be it pharmaceutical, electronic,
so we can't
communication.
This government cannot ignore the Igbos.
No, they cannot. Again, the Igbos cannot ignore Nigeria. They cannot ignore Nigeria. Tell me any corner of Nigeria where Igbos are not doing well. Look at Abuja here. Everywhere. Look at Lagos. Look at Kaduna. Look at Kano. So where you have 1,000 Igbos in other parts of the country, you may not have up to 5 people from other parts of the country in Igbo land. So for me, other than elite competition, we don't have enough ministers. Yes. We don't have enough appointees in central bank. All of this kind of nitpicking. Other than that, for me, honestly, I think Igbos are the owners of this country, and the elite need to look at it. They look at it. Look at Abuja here. If you take a census of the hotels in Abuja here,
yes,
of the buildings in Abuja here, tell me, who do you think owns the largest interest in all of these things? I've done some kind of study on this, and I found out. So if then we begin to do things that will make Nigeria fall apart, who is going to be the loser? I mean, some of us will just pick our bag and look back and go to our villages.
Yes.
You can't take your hotel. You can't take all those your properties, all those your estates and go back. It's not possible. They are not movable things. So we need to think that, look, if you then say you are going back to Igbo land, a small enclave,
yes,
that how many, what's the population? Do you have enough market for all of those things you are importing, all of those things you are manufacturing, all of those services you are providing? You have a market of 180 going to 200 million, and you want to, run away from there and then go into an enclave. With the land, the Igbo land, be able to take all of you? Within 2 or 3 months of all of you coming into Igbo land,
yes,
you will begin to eat yourselves up because you'll be cramped in that little space.
Yes.
One of the leaders was saying the other day that about 11 million people, Igbos, are living in the north. So if you now move 11 million to the east, what do you think will happen there? So I think we need to put our thinking caps on and begin to reason properly. And look, it's better for all of us to live together. We are better to live together under a just, fair arrangement, rather than to say that we want to tear one another apart. It doesn't make sense.
And I want to take you to the ports now. Yes. The fact that the corruption war is also being looked at as revenge.
Yes.
The termination of the boat pilotage, monitoring and supervision agreement with Intel's being looked at now as a perceived attack on the former vice president.
I do not have the details of this matter.
Yes.
I'm taking my time to research it, understand what it is about,
yes,
know what the contract is before I can comment on this. I do not, honestly. I do not know. The former vice president, Atiku is still a member of our party.
Yes.
He has not left our party.
But he has an ambition.
He has not even said it out that he has an ambition. And let me also say that President Buhari is not a vindictive person. He's not. From what I know about him, he's not vindictive to now call on MD of MPA, go and take business away from Atiku.
It may not be the president's decision. People may be second guessing the president in preparation for 2019, helping the president along.
We will now be second guessing those people, that they are second guessing the president. Since we don't have the facts, I think we should all wait for the facts.
All right. And as political advisor to the president, I can't let you go without asking you your advice to the president regarding the former governor of Lagos State, Bola Tinubu. Last year, in 2016, September, I believe it was, he demanded for the resignation of the national chairman, John Odige Oyegun. Since then, nothing has happened.
Yes.
It appears to me and to a lot of people that former Governor Bola Tinubu has been very, very quiet. Is all well between him and the president?
I've not seen any problem between him and the president. No. Not to my knowledge. I remember when the president was away on sick leave, the president's nephew was getting married in Kaduna. Bola Tinubu flew in from London to attend that wedding. Okay. So that for me doesn't indicate that there's an issue.
Are you getting the rumor and the vibe out there that it doesn't look like things are okay?
Let's look at this. He's not an appointee of government. He's a political leader.
Yes.
And from time to time, he comes out to comment on national affairs.
Yes.
And also to express his support for the government. In some areas, he may express disagreement.
Yes.
Things should have been done this way rather than this way.
Yes.
But ultimately, he will say, look, I support, President Babangida, and I agree with some of the things that he's doing to bring Nigeria out of the woods.
Yes.
That does not suggest that there is a break between the two.
You think the Southwest will remain with President Buhari?
Why won't we,
supporting him?
Why won't we remain with President Buhari? And that exactly is what Akande said. That is even not an issue now. The president is busy carrying out the assignment given to him by Nigeria. So when the time comes, if the president says, yes, I want to do a second term, then they will come together and discuss and agree with him.
What would be your response to those who think that Bola Tinubu has been sidelined by this administration?
That is their opinion. People are entitled to their opinion. Some people stand out there, they don't have enough information. And based on the little information they have, they make conjectures. But they have the right in a democracy to do that. So for me, that's the way they see it.
All right, you said in March this year, earlier on, there are many forces within the system that do not want Nigeria to work.
Right.
Forces that act as stumbling blocks
to
progress.
They're everywhere.
But you guys were elected on the promise of change.
Yeah, we are changing. We are changing a lot of things. And that is why, there is so much opposition. They have been used to a particular way of life,
of doing
things, and we are saying no. In the past, when people are shouting, criticizing government, we are marginalized, we want restructuring, they'll be invited to the gala. And when they are leaving $50,000, $100,000, we go into the boot of their car. That is no longer so.
No more settlement.
No more settlement. All we can do is to explain to you, this is why we are doing this. If you have problems of road, in your place of power, supply of electricity, or you have no airport, we can then sit and talk on when this is going to be in place. That is why today the president could in the budget year release as much as 700 billion for infrastructural development. In 2014, the government of Jonathan released only 35 billion to the Ministry of Works because all of the money now be used for settlement. But nobody can come out today that it goes to Buhari and Buhari gives him money.
But we're worried.
Where will the money come from? No.
The IMF meetings going on now and the World Bank. Worries are being expressed about how much debt we're accumulating.
Of course, we have to keep the country going. And what is this fear about debt? Seriously. Ask any expert, they will tell you how much America is owing. For as long as we are not stealing that money. For as long as you are not spending them on recurrent expenditure, for as long as you want to do rail line between Lagos and Kano, you want to do rail line between Lagos and Calabar, you want to do second Niger Bridge, you want to do several other things. Those things, if you can do them now with $10 and you do not borrow to do them now, and you wait till 5-10 years time, they may be $100. So why don't you borrow now, do all of those things, and then pay for them, rather than wait for when you will not be able to pay for them.
If we're recovering a lot of loot, why are we still borrowing so much?
Again, you have to also pay for recurrent. You have a very large and huge, public service, and you have to pay salaries. The federal government is not owing salaries. You have to assist states every month. All the states are being given assistance to pay salaries. You've heard about bailout. You have heard about Paris Club reform. All of those things. Where do you think the money is coming from? The money is coming from all of those recoveries. And also, let me also let you know that those recoveries themselves, a lot of the things you hear, they are not yet in the covers of the government. You find money with somebody, and you seize the money. The person goes to court. You cannot then appropriate that money, spend the money until you back on all of that. And in Nigeria, the wheel of justice is very slow. High court, appeal court, Supreme Court, and all of that. So it takes years. Then you see a house, a massive mansion. It takes time for you to fully recover those things, and then it becomes government's property. But what I'm trying to tell you now is that though this government has earned way lower, almost 60% less than the previous government, it has given more value in terms of infrastructure development, in terms of what is voted. And do you know why the effect is not yet showing? A lot of people were given contracts in the 16 years of PDP. Some of them were given mobilization fee and that stopped. Rather than cancel those contracts, look, if you know they are qualified to carry out those contracts, there's no need cancelling them. Provide them money
to continue.
And likely you won't believe this. They are also PDP people. But President Buhari believes that these are Nigerians.
Yes.
For as long as you are able to establish that they have the capacity to carry out the project, let them have the money to do it. But make sure that they do it. Unlike in the past when we give them the money and they take it abroad and keep it in their mansions over there. So the government is trying its best. When President Buhari finally leaves power and Nigeria looks back and see that this man meant well, they will appreciate him more, which of course is normal with human beings.
Join us again after the break. My concluding moments now with Senator Babafemi Ojodu, Special Advisor to Nigeria's President Buhari on political matters. You were elected senator to represent Ekiti Central Senatorial District, 2011 to 2015. You famously defeated the current governor of Ekiti State, Ayo Fayose. At that time, you scored 67,747 votes. He scored 29,779 votes. I'm saying all this, giving you this background, because apart from the former speaker, Femi Bamishile, who has come out categorically to tell me on my program that he has an ambition to be governor of Ekiti State, everyone else is being cagey about it. So I want to ask you directly now, are you interested in becoming governor of Ekiti State?
Ask me this question April next year.
April,
I'll tell
April
you.
2018?
Yes.
Why can't you answer it now?
Because at that point in time, and INEC will then give the go-ahead and then declare that position about to be, open for contest.
Yes.
So, but if you do that now, it's illegal. So if I sit down here and say I want to be governor of Ekiti,
would you don't mind being governor?
Well, let me explain to you.
Yes.
All of us who are from Ekiti, majority of us are dissatisfied with what is happening there now, and we are meeting, we are discussing, we are consulting, and we are looking at how better it could be done.
Yes.
Why is this fellow failing? Why is he behaving the way it is? Why has he been able to deceive our people over this period? We are looking at all of those things. Then when the time now comes, we will then among ourselves say, okay, this person, is the right person that will go and challenge that fellow and get him out of the place. Yeah.
At least I know about 21 people who want to be governor.
That's normal in this kind of situation.
Yes.
You know why it is normal? People want to become deputy governor. If they don't come out now to make noise, they will not be noticed. Some want to become senator. Some want to go to House of Reps. Some want to become councillors.
Okay.
Some want to go to House of Assembly.
Okay.
Some want to become member of House of Assembly. Some want to become board chairman. So it's normal. And then because we have been out of government there for some time now, and there's a need to wake up our party members, people are coming out to mobilize people, for the task ahead. So
I don't know.
Strange.
If you read Segun Dele Dipe in Vanguard newspaper in March this year, the article was titled "Run Ojodu Run."
Yes.
I thought, after he wrote that article, that if you don't declare now,
I will be running now.
That you probably will never declare again.
Yeah, I know. I don't think that is so. I think by virtue of my education and the position I hold, I should abide by the law. So I do not support anybody who go on the street now, having a rally, putting up billboard, pasting posters. It's not right. Yes. And it has come out with the timetable. Election holds July 14 next year. Campaign starts in April. Primaries will come up between April and May. So why don't you wait? Why don't you spend the time you have now, if you are interested, consulting and preparing your agenda for the people? It's not just enough to say, I want to be governor. There are a lot of challenges. Salaries have not been paid in that place for 8 months. There is nothing going on there.
Governor Fayose says it's 4 months.
It's a lie. It's a lie. You need to talk to the real people. You know, he lies a lot and he tries to deceive people a lot. People have not, no government officials have not received salaries in 8 months, for God's sake. So, if you have a place like that where almost 80% of the youths are unemployed and you have a lot of problems, you see poverty on the street. People have been turned to beggars. Every day I wake up, sometimes I'm so disturbed. You know, telephone messages coming on my phone, text messages, people asking for one help or the other.
What do you think happened? I mean, how did the state get to this point from Kayode Fayemi to Ayo Fayose? You know, say what we want.
Yes.
The people seem to love Fayose genuinely.
I think you have to look further than Fayemi era. You look at the state.
Go further
down. You know, you look at the state. People go to school. They are educated. There is nothing on the ground in Ekiti to sustain them. No industry. So as you are educated and you are out of school, whether you have a master's degree or a PhD, you then go out of the country or go to other parts of the country to go and make a living. Then largely what was left in the state, you know, are the hoi polloi, you know. So, and I keep telling people, wherever you do not have a middle class, anybody could be deceived. Yes. I mean, a poor person thinks about the next meal. A poor person do not invest in the environment. Rather, he despoilates the environment. A poor person do not think about love. You know, it's about what can I eat? What can I spend? What is it for me? And that is what that fellow unpatriotically, you know, exploited. He knows that people are hungry. People are unemployed. People are sick in a way. The diseases are squalor. So he has exploited that. Let me go to the motor park and drink paraga with boys who are supposed to be in school or gainfully employed. Let me go to the market and deceive the market women who are poor. That they will be satisfied by shaking hands with the governor rather than plan for them. If Awolowo had done what Fayose is doing now, Yoruba land would have been a mess. But the man planned and look at the future. What is the future of our people? Education is the future of our people, and give them education.
You said that Governor Fayose was portraying Ekiti in bad light by calling on the president to resign on grounds of his ill health.
At that time, yes. Look, we have a culture, we have a tradition in our place. First of all, we are taught as early as 1 year, 2 years to respect our elders, no matter what. You can disagree with your dad.
Yes.
You can argue, but you are not allowed to disrespect your dad or anybody of your dad's age.
Yes.
Or anybody who is just 3 or 4 years older than you.
Yes.
You must respect, you know, even when you have to disagree with them. Yes. But the way he goes about abusing people, abusing elders, lying, you know, he came out and said, look, I have 45 photographs to show that this man is on a life support, you know, machine.
That's the president.
That president was on a life support machine. And lo and behold, 2 weeks after, the president came back to Nigeria ill and hearty. Why should a governor lie? If you are supposed to be a role model to people, and they now found that that role model is a liar, then it becomes a problem for the citizenry. So we are ashamed to have him as our governor. We are not happy. Yes. We think it's an assault on us, people, all over the world. And that's why right now we are all coming together. We are meeting. We are meeting in Nigeria, here in Abuja, here, in Lagos, in Washington, D.C., in London, even as far as Australia. People are coming up with groups to say that we must take out all this kind of element out of our system in the Ekiti state.
What do you make of his endorsement of his deputy?
Again, that's part of his illegality. That's part of his illegality. The PDP has a process for selecting, you know, candidates for elections.
Yes.
He just, you know, discounting out all of that, and just woke up one day, took some miscreants to the government house and said that they endorsed the deputy governor. Well, that's his own. Ours is that both himself, the deputy governor, and elements like him are going to be out of our system come July next year.
So do you think that the differences between the executive and the legislature could have been handled differently? Now, going back to the matters of budget planning, and because you were in the Senate as well, you know, I want to get your perspective on that. Could those differences have been handled better?
Again, it's also about Nigerians who love to see problems where there are none. I look at what is happening between the legislature and the executive. I've not seen anything out of place there.
Really?
Yes.
Because
look at America.
Yes, but people expected.
Look at France. Parliament are supposed to do their job. Yeah. The executive is supposed to do its own work.
Even if they're all from the same party.
Oh, for God's sake, yes. The parliament is supposed to carry out oversight function over the executive. All you can say is to continuously let them see reason and say, look, whatever it is, this money that we have provided to provide rail line from Lagos to Kano should not be touched. Reason being that this is the number of people that project will benefit.
Yes.
It is better than to give that money to our lawmakers to do constituency project. Look, they were elected. They want to come back. They are looking for things that will make the people warm up to them.
Yes.
The executive are elected. They want to do well. And they have an idea of projects that they have promised the people. Yeah. So there is going to be that push and shove.
Why do we need the National Assembly to do projects? Elsewhere that I know, they lobby the executive to include projects
that's exactly,
close to their house.
That's exactly the issue that we have to address over the years. In the past, that used to be the case. You don't need all of this. The executive is there to do projects. What you then do as lawmakers is to lobby the executive to bring projects.
Yes.
In fact, people on the corridor of the rail line from Lagos to Kano should be satisfied and happy that this rail line is going to pass through their hometowns and states, and that will improve the economy of the states. So where the rail line, the design of rail line does not include your town or your state, then the lawmaker can go and lobby the president and say, please, these are the effects this project will have on my state if it passes through my state. These are the kind of things lawmakers should do. And we are the, when I say we now, I've been in the legislature. We are the cause of our problems. When we think and act as if we want to build roads, we want to provide water, electricity, that is not the function for which we are voted. In America, where we come to presidential system of government, an American senator will lobby to have a military base in his constituency, with the belief that if there is a military base there, it will generate employment. There will be life, in the community and all of that. That's his own. What is his business about tasks that belong to local government? For example, you want to tie inner roads, you want to carry garbage, you want to provide a health clinic and all of those kind of things. So no. But again, we are evolving. We started in 1999, for God's sake. So all of these push and shove we are seeing should not be seen as a dangerous democracy. They are the processes we have to go through. So I'm not alarmed, as most people are. I do not see a serious conflict that cannot be managed.
Thank you very much, Senator Babafemi Ojodu, for coming back on the program with me. And thank you for watching. I'm Angela Ajitumobi.